You guys better prepare yourselves, because you're about to feel ways about a dirt bike you never even knew were possible. This is going to be a sensual experience, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Big thanks to DeCal Works and MXPlastics.com for the support on this build. Let's do it. I'm sorry to interrupt this sensual program. I actually had to switch from the right to the left because I'm having trouble with fitment on the right here. I'll show you what's going on. So the way this side panel is intended to fit, it locks in there, and then this lower tab needs to go on the outside. And then, the problem is, got a pretty sizable gap there that I don't love. So I'm trying to make adjustments to fix this. I think step one needs to be making sure that this is the last bolt to be installed because the radiator has to flex quite a bit. Then I'm going to loosen both of these a little bit so that the shroud can float. And now do a loose fitment of the side panel as if the seat were installed. And now our gap looks significantly better. We've just got to tighten everything down and have it still look like that. Oh, damn it. Oh, don't do that. Managed to get this thing. Oh yeah, see, it really yanks that gap apart. Gap is back. We got some work to do. Okay, one other issue with this kit is that there's a screw behind here that contacts the subframe and causes this to stick out, and that is a definite boot catcher. So that screw is gonna have to go. Significantly better, and our gap has improved as well. What was that?
It's a nice bike. Looks like a real dirt bike.
Oh yeah, you like this thing right here?
Yeah, sick, man.
First look.
That's nice.
You like the grips?
Oh yeah, damn.
Dude, the white pops.
Yeah, the white is so cool.
So there you have my buddy Monty's first reaction on what he thought of the CR250 with the plastics and graphics installed. I want to know what you guys think. Leave me a comment on what you think of the outcome of this bike. There are a couple more things to do, but visually, she's pretty much done. DeCal Works killed it on this kit. Also, I want to give you all a huge thank you for the amount of comments I got in the last video. That was crazy, the response I got with that NoToil giveaway. I'll put the winner up here on screen. Congratulations, your NoToil kit is on the way. We will have that KX450 breathing fresh with a new kit from NoToil in no time. So again, big thanks to NoToil for keeping the bikes breathing clean. In this video, we'll actually be giving away a complete graphics kit from DeCal Works for your dirt bike. So for this graphics giveaway, anyone who enters to win the CR250 in the next 48 hours, go ahead and put your bike, year, make, and model in the order notes on the website, and then I will randomly select a winner from those entries and you will get an email letting you know you've won. DeCal Works never fails to amaze me. They killed it on this kit. They killed it on the custom seat cover. Also, you can use the code MXP10 for 10% off on MXPlastics.com. If you bundle your order of plastics and graphics, you'll pass that free shipping threshold. You can also do mix and match plastic colors, which is really nice. So I am consistently thrilled with what I receive from MX Plastics and DeCal Works, and I think you will be too. I have to give a shout out to my friend Matt. He's an amazing graphic designer, and he did the updates to the Vacation Forever sticker for me. If you recall, that sticker was originally on the airbox. The previous owner, Corey, told me it had some sentimental value, so I had Matt rework it, make it match the CR style a little bit better, put some goggles on the skeleton. I think it came out really nice, and it's a nice little tribute to what this bike used to be. You guys remember what this thing used to look like? Anyway, I know this was a long interjection. This episode is far from over, still quite a few things to do, so let's jump right back into it. To get the ball rolling, both brakes needed to be bled completely, and I wanted to work on plastic fitment a little bit, so I removed the shroud and side panel once again, and that also cleared up some more space for me to bleed the rear brake with easier access to that master cylinder. Brake bleeding went very smoothly. I think I could still get a little bit more power out of the front brake if I bleed it a little bit more, but they're both functioning well, and neither one leaks out of those sight glasses, which is one small concern I had, so thankfully that silicone job worked. One task I've had jotted down, which is very important not to forget, is to torque the front sprocket bolt, and I could not do so until I had a functional rear brake. So with the rear brake working, I'm able to go ahead and put the bike in 5th gear, hold the rear brake down, and then I've got enough resistance to be able to torque that bolt without the sprocket spinning. Now, the idea I had to improve plastic fitment was to bore out the hole in this radiator some more. This would allow that nut to sit farther back, shifting the plastic by the same amount. While it's still not perfect, it undoubtedly made an improvement, and I might be a little overcritical at this point. Let me know how much that gap bothers you, and if you have any other good ideas on how to improve it even further. Before running the bike anymore, it was important to install the inline fuel filter for that SmartCarb, so I went ahead and did that, and then it was time for some more testing.
Well, the CR250 actually has brakes now, which means it's time to run it down the road for the first time and see how it does. Following appropriate startup procedure from now on. First kick, baby. All right, see if this Magura hydraulic clutch works. Got a rip and running CR250, baby. Top is very flat. The guys over at SmartCarb told me that it was shipped out rich, which makes sense. That's how you want to start out a fresh engine. I think we're gonna go lean it out a little bit and see if we can clean this thing up a little bit. If I hit the throttle, it's very, 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 very flat. You know, the sick thing is, all I have to do is twist a knob. No jetting changes. No dealing with turning the carburetor, getting the bowl off, spilling fuel everywhere. All I have to do is freaking turn a knob on this thing. With the SmartCarb, you're supposed to fiddle with the top knob here with the richness and leanness before messing with the idle screw. Okay, so initially I went 10 clicks leaner. I texted Nathan and asked him how many clicks I should be doing. He said only do up to 4 at a time. So I went back down to 4. Bike still didn't want to idle. So I went 1 in on the idle screw just to make it idle for now. But we are at a leaner setting, so we're going to test and see how it rides with this leaner setting. And then if we have to go leaner on the screw, then we may back idle back out. So I'm keeping track of where everything's at. So right now we're 4 clicks leaner than they sent it, and 1 full turn in on idle. Bottom end actually feels pretty good and smooth. Let's roll it on here. Oh! Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, is my gas still off? There's a chance gas is still off. Otherwise, maybe we blew this thing up. Yeah, gas is off. I actually did a CR125 a couple years ago. Before I learned proper braking procedure, I went 5th wide in the first 5 minutes down the street, and I blew it up immediately. There we go. All right, we're gonna roll it on to about half. Okay, top end still feels like it signs off a little bit. I'm gonna turn the fuel off so I don't flood this thing again. I'm like super paranoid about that now. But you go full wide open throttle, and then down here, you press the top of the carb and then go click, click, click. We're at 8 right now. He said I should not have to do more than 15, which I'm thinking is right. That subtle difference was incredible, to be honest. Idling strong. Oh, sounds crisp too. Dude, I think we got it. I think we freaking got it. This thing is just right. Knowing how big of a difference those little SmartCarb adjustments make makes me feel confident that I can get this thing tuned perfectly out on the track. Feeling quite good about it, man. Hey, I'm sorry, man. I've been building this bike for 3 months, and this is my, what was that?
I said, that's fine. But you don't have to just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
I'm trying to tune the carb.
The HOA says none of that.
Okay.
So it's made to be off-road.
I understand that, sir.
I got a vet in there. I know all about horsepower, all about going fast, all about having fun. But other people around here don't like it.
Yep, I get it.
You get all these older people around here and all they do is bitch at us and then the HOA, and then all of a sudden we're all in trouble.
I completely know what you mean.
I'm on your side.
I'm stuck in a hard place because I gotta test this thing before I take it somewhere. I literally have spent 250 hours over the last few months building this bike.
Yeah.
So.
No, well, it's not me that's bitching about it. I don't care that you ride it.
All right, you have a good one. Check the plug. It was still quite rich, so just went 4 more clicks, so we're at 12 right now. Uh-oh, traffic jam of Hondas. You going left or right?
This way.
Yeah, the mid-range is flat. 1, 2, okay, so now we're at 10, which is 2 richer than where we had it. There we go. I think that's the money spot right there. I think this is about exactly where I want to actually test it on dirt. I think this is our starting point right here. Feels really, really, really freaking good. And of course, we've got the neighbors who don't like dirt bikes, and then we've got the neighbors who love dirt bikes.
It's like perfect.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, dude. Pretty stoked.
Same.
You match.
Oh yeah.
While waiting for my last batch of parts in the mail, I finally got around to something I'd been meaning to do, which was to chop the right side of the bar off. This is because using that throttle tube with the bearing adds a little bit of extra width, and the throttle cable is a little tight. So this not only made the bar symmetric, but helped with that throttle cable tension. Last 2 packages for the CR just arrived. We're finishing this thing today. So this one came all the way from Australia, from a company called Pentec Machining. I just found this on eBay. I could not find a case saver that I was happy with. And I kept putting it off until I was like, uh-oh, it's gonna be the last thing I need. So I ordered this bad boy. Thing looks gorgeous, appears to be high quality. Let's bolt it up. Wow, that really is a stellar final touch. This left just 2 more tasks to completely finish the bike. One of them being a skid plate install. I think skid plates are important even on MX bikes. It takes 1 rock to go through a case. And then I also installed an hour meter for obvious reasons. They're so nice to have to keep up with maintenance intervals and things like that. She's now officially complete. I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing out to the same spot that I shot all the before videos, and you guys can see her in all her new glory. Well guys, we freaking did it. 3 months of hard work and dedication, and we brought this $700 blown up CR250 back to life into the masterpiece that has become today. Thank you to everyone who has followed along with this build series. there is some more content to come. We're gonna ride this thing, make sure she's dialed and ready to go for whoever wins this bike. So we'll get a couple hours on it on dirt. Daniel Schmidt, who built the suspension, is a top tier motocross rider, so he's gonna log a little bit of time on this as well. And that was me getting kicked off of the private property where I go to photo shoot bikes. I apologize to the landowner. As my brother says, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. So as I was saying, be on a lookout for a video of this bike's first time on dirt. I also plan to make a cost and parts breakdown video because I know that's really interesting to those of you doing bike builds of your own at home. And then as I do with all my builds, you can expect to see one video that documents the entire process of this build from start to finish. I know I said it throughout the series, and now looking at the bike in front of me, I truly believe this is my best build yet. All of the colors work exactly as I wanted them to. This thing just turned out absolutely gorgeous. The number of times I walk from the house to the garage every day just to take a peek at this thing is almost comical. As I've said in previous builds, the build is the most fun part. I am so excited to get this thing on dirt, but I'm even more excited to give this thing to one of you guys. The experience I had with Trenton, who won the YZ300, was incredible. It was so fun having him out here riding, and I know it was a trip of a lifetime for him, so I'm really looking forward to seeing who ends up with this one. So this isn't the last you'll see of the CR250, but this does conclude the build series. What an epic journey it's been. Plenty of highs, plenty of lows, but I've got one magnificent CR250 sitting in front of me that I am very proud of. So that's it for this one. Talk to you guys soon. And before my mom comments that the mic cable is visible, this is the longest cable I have, but I love your constructive criticism.
And that's a wrap.